My hair, man. Looking rough out here.
Are we on? It says live.
Ladwina, I cannot hear you either.
No?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hector Dominguez. I am here with you on behalf of the Cook County Assessors Office. Here with you tonight with Ladwina from the Chicago Metropolitan Alumni Chapter of the Theta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc. You got to make sure you put the INC in there. You have to. You have to. We just want to give a couple seconds, just a couple seconds. We were having some technical difficulties earlier. We want to make sure everything's good. So, Miss Ladwina, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Beautiful, and I can hear you, so we're good. I want to give a huge shout out to Angelina in the background, working it all, making it all work for us. So let's give her a round of applause real quick.
Yay.
Thank you. One day I'm going to do these. Actually, we used to do these, and I have my DJ stuff set up, and I would hear the wah, wah, wah. I would do the horns and everything, but I can't do that now. I'm not feeling, but we're all good. So what I would like to do is introduce Miss Ladwina and go ahead and speak a little bit, Ms. Ladwina Smith. Go ahead and speak a little bit about your organization, and then we will jump right into what we're here for tonight.
Awesome. So as Hector said, my name is Ladwina Smith. I am one of the chairs of the Economic Development Committee. My other co-chair is Javondalyn Dunnigan. And on behalf of our entire committee and the Chicago Metropolitan Alumnae Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta, who is led by our president, Shamil Tillery. We want to welcome everyone to today's event. So Delta Sigma Theta is a public service organization, and our chapter is a newly chartered chapter. We're just over a year old, and like all chapters of Delta Sigma Theta, we run with underneath a 5 programmatic thrust, which is economic development, educational development, physical and mental health, political awareness and involvement, and international awareness and involvement. So underneath the economic development category, we deal a lot with financial planning, money management, consumer education, investments, employment opportunities, are just a few of the programs that we run under economic development. And we do that by delivering content and partnering with people like the Cook County Assessors Office. So with that
Thank you so much.
said, Hector, take it away.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest.
Good to see you, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
We need you to raise the volume up a little bit more, boss.
Okay, here I'm in a hotel downtown. I hope there's not too much background noise. Otherwise, I could move.
No, I think we're good. Ms. Ladwina, are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
Let's go.
Well, hey, I'm so happy to be here with everyone. You are lucky to have our wonderful outreach team helping you in organizing this event. And we really appreciate you, everyone out there who's with us here tonight, because we know you could be anywhere in the middle of the week. It's dinner time in Chicagoland with this cool weather out there, making it fun to be there. But so we're here to help you, to give you some information you can use. Hector, tell me what the plan is for tonight. Is this a typical workshop that we're doing? Because I just want to know how I fit in with the program. Just make sure I don't want to steal your thunder here.
Yeah, no. So this is just a short overview of what our office does.
Okay. Well, that's great. So the way our property tax system is so complex, guys, it is almost impossible to understand, even for people who are in government, people who are in the real estate industry. For the average person, it's totally understandable when we're confused by the system. So I'd like to just briefly explain some of the sort of brief things you can use, some takeaways that you can have tonight. Basically, our property tax system operates in two different pieces. One part of the system determines, it sort of raises money for all of the things that we need from local government, especially for schools. It's something called a levy. It's the amount of money that has to be raised every year in property taxes in a community. It's mostly for schools, but it will also be for villages, for libraries, for the parks, for water treatment, things like that. And that's called a levy, and that's determined by our local governments. And some people call this the tax burden, but really it's about investing in our communities. Assessments don't change how much is raised in a levy. It's determined by our schools and elsewhere. And we can go into some of the ways that it's unfair for how much communities have to cover the cost of educating themselves rather than getting money from the state and federal government. That's another source of inequity that happens in our property tax system. But so we got that on one side, we got the levies. How do we divide up the cost of government amongst all of us? How do we divide up that levy amongst us in a fair way between all the different businesses and homes? That's what assessments are about. Assessments determine everyone's share of that levy in a community. And our office is all about making sure that's done equitably, because the state law says that, hey, everyone's assessment is supposed to be based on your market value, and your share of the assessed value in your community determines your share of the levy. So think of assessments as being about equity, and the assessor's office is sort of the first stop in making sure that the system's equitable. And the way we do that is making sure that everyone has an assessment that reflects the market value of their property, and that there are no distortions or biases in that. We're supposed to be a mirror to that market. Once we start getting distortions in our assessments, that's where the systems can start to add on more unfairness than is already out there in the world. And we want to make sure that doesn't happen. Now, how could that happen? If big commercial properties are valued less than they are in the market, that means everyone else has to make up the difference for them. Small businesses, homeowners. And if some homeowners who have more modest homes are more overassessed than people who have higher end homes, that's also another source of unfairness. So our administration has really been about making sure we do that right, eliminate sources of bias, eliminate sources of favoritism, so that everyone's paying their own fair share of property taxes. We, in the world of the assessor's office, we can't change the high tax burdens that come with that levy, but we can make sure that the share of the burden is fair. And that's what all of our team works on here. And it starts first with making sure that your assessment is fair, but just as important for you is making sure that other people's assessments are fair too. You don't want them to be underassessed, because that can mean you're making up the difference. So when our system's gotten in trouble in the past, it's come from things like that. The other thing that Hector will tell you about tonight, besides how to make sure that your assessment reflects only the conditions in your house, is to make sure you get all the exemptions you deserve. An exemption is something the state creates that lets you take some money right off the top to give you savings on your property tax bill. And we got many different ones of these, and Hector and our team, they'll make sure that they tell you all about that. But basically think about the assessor's office as being about fairness. You want to make sure that you're advocating for yourself in this system by making sure that your assessment reflects your home and you're getting all the exemptions you deserve. But you also want to make sure that our office is assessing other people fairly, so you're not picking up the tab for others who are underassessed. That is my top level view of the system. We assess 1/3 of the county every year. We're assessing Chicago this year in the 3rd year of our administration. So it's very busy. Chicago's so different. It's got so many different neighborhoods, so many different corridors. We try to make sure that we're taking an accurate snapshot of that diversity. But sometimes we are 230 people trying to assess 2 million properties. Sometimes we don't get it right. And you can help us to identify sources of bias, to let us know when we get it wrong, and to advocate for yourself and your neighbors. So how about I just drop it there, and we can hand it off to Hector and our team, and then take your questions.
That's perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. I know that you're super, super busy, but you always make time to be in the face of the people. So thank you so much. Angelina, if you can share my screen, thank you very much. Here it is right here. All right. So I'm gonna kind of speed through this part a little bit just because my boss already talked about it. So the responsibilities of the assessor's office, we are responsible for assessing close to 2 million different properties, guys. We do this not on an individual basis, but rather on a mass appraisal system. We are also responsible for discounts, property exemptions, right? Tax exemptions. You guys know what I'm talking about. We're going to get there in a second, but what I want to cover first is the appeal process. What do you need to file an online appeal? It's super easy. We get this, actually, before we continue, there is a Q&A that is going to happen. So if you have a question, just go ahead and write it down. If you're like me, I kind of need to get things out or I will forget them. So I want to make sure everyone has that chance. Everyone has that opportunity to do so. So go ahead and put those comments in the put those questions in the comment section so that we can do that. One of the questions we always get is, do I have to pay an attorney to file my appeal? The answer is no. You can do this completely for free, and I'm going to walk you through it in a couple slides. However, you do have the right to hire an attorney if you want to. That's between you and your wallet. So what do you need to file an appeal? Super simple. You just need a valid email address and you must own the property, right? The way you can do this is when it's time to file your appeal, just remember you have a 30-day window. Please don't be the person that waits to the very last minute to appeal, because that may not work out in your favor, right? When you are appealing, you can start your appeal, you can edit your appeal, you can save your appeal, you can upload things or attachments along with your appeal. You can do all of these things. And another question that we always get is, hey, what about comparable properties? You do not need to provide our office with comparable properties. Our office will do that for you. However, we understand that maybe you want the peace of mind. So we have a new cool handy dandy Cook County Cook Viewer interactive map. Sorry, I was raised on Blue's Clues. That's why I'm talking like that. But we have a new tool for you guys to use, a new feature for you guys to use. So let's take advantage of that. Another question we get all the time, and the assessor alluded to it, whatever. He talked about it earlier, was how does this appeal affect your tax bill? So the bill you just received, that was for 2020. The appeal that you are thinking about filing now is for 2021. They have nothing to do with each other. They are separate and unique from each other. They do not have anything to do with each other. Now, what will happen? Worst case scenario with an appeal, worst case scenario is nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens. Your appeal is denied and nothing happens. Your bill will not go up because of the denial. Your value won't go up because of the denial. That's not how this works. Now, if there is a decrease, you will see that reflected on your second installment tax bill next year. So just want to make that clear. The bill you just received and the appeal you're thinking about filing have nothing to do with each other. We are appealing the value that will affect next year's bill. There are multiple reasons why taxpayers want to appeal. I'm going to go over the three most common. The first one is lack of uniformity. That means myself and LaDuina live on the same block, house built by the same person, same size, same color, same developer, same everything. But for whatever reason, my value is greater than hers and everybody else is on the block that their home looks like mine. And I want to know why we're not uniform. Why are we not the same? Next is overvaluation. That's probably everybody here, right? There's no way my house was worth this much. If my house was worth this much, here go the keys, right? That's probably everybody in here. And then the next one is incorrect property description. You may also know it as property description error. This means there is a factual error, not an opinionated error. No, there is a factual error. Like, hey guys, you're assessing me as a 2,000 square foot property, but I really have 1,200 square feet. Or you're assessing me as a building with 6 apartments or less, but I'm really a single family home, right? Now, what affects your tax bill? The assessor already spoke about this, but it's your assessment, your exemptions or your discounts, the local township tax rate, or the levy, which are just basically the taxing bodies in your specific area. So the schools, park district, police departments, fire departments, mosquito abatement, water reclamation, those things, those are actually listed on your second installment tax bill. I will show you that in a second. And then the total assessed value of your town or city. Now, what are exemptions? Exemptions are discounts. Discounts that you may qualify for that will lower your tax bill, and in some cases, dramatically decrease the tax bill. So let's talk about it. Exemptions are only reflected on your second installment tax bill. So you get two bills a year. You get a blue one and a yellow one. The blue one is the first installment. That blue bill is 55% of the previous year's entire bill. All right. Your second installment tax bill is yellow. That has your discounts on it. And it is its own bill. It is not 45%. They don't equal 100. That's not how this works. I just want to make that very clear. The first installment is its own bill. Second installment is its own bill. They're not together, right? So you have the homeowner exemption. That's for anyone who owns and occupies their property as of January 1 of the taxable year. Very simple. Senior and senior frees do require you to be born in 1955 or before, and the senior frees you cannot make more than $65,000 as a total household income, and you must own and occupy the property 2 consecutive January 1s. That means January 1, 2019 and January 1, 2020. And we're just talking as if you're looking at your bill now. Persons with disability, look, our office has no authority to say who is disabled or not. So what we do is we give you an application. You take that bad boy to your doctor fills it out on your behalf. If you meet all the requirements, then you get a discount on your tax bill. Returning veteran is for anyone returning from active duty for the year they return and for 1 year later. So it's kind of like a 2-year deal. Next is veteran with disabilities. This is my favorite exemption. This is for any veteran that has a service-connected disability of 30% or greater. 30 to 49%, you get X taken off of your tax bill depending on where you live at. If you are 50 to 69%, you get X taken off of your tax bill depending on where you live at. If you are 70 to 100%, you don't pay property taxes at all, as long as your property is not worth more than $800,000 or $250,000 in EAV. The long-time exemption, this is for anyone who owned and occupied their property for 10 consecutive years. They do not make more than $100,000 as a total household income, and their equalized assessed value has increased significantly depending on what township you live in. For this one, our office actually does the calculation for you. Applications were mailed out in April. Only 2% of taxpayers actually qualified. There's an actual equation that our office does. However, if you feel you qualify, just contact us. I'm sure that'll be in the comment section, the link to contact our office, and we can look this up for you within 30 seconds and let you know if you qualify or not. And then the last one is the home improvement. This is for anyone who does improvements to their property. As long as you pull the permits legally, our office will then go and see if there were improvements done to the property. Any improvement up to $75,000 is covered for 4 years. Anything greater than that, you are responsible for that. This is going great. This is a sample tax bill. So very quickly, the tax levies or the taxing bodies in your specific area I was talking about earlier, that's this portion right here. Literally to the dollar. To the dollar. That's where it is. Yes. Now, what I want to draw your attention to is the tax calculator. Underneath there, here is where your exemptions would be listed. The homeowner exemption, the senior citizen exemption, senior freeze, disabled person, disabled veteran, returning veteran, all of those would be listed here. If you are receiving the long-term exemption, it'll be on this side of your tax bill under important messages. It'll say long time. I don't know why the treasurer does it that way. Good news for anyone who received their exemptions last year. Due to COVID-19, a lot of our exemptions are going to be auto-renewed. So that's why a lot of you all don't remember applying for them. But but still receiving them on your tax bill. And we want to show you a way to look this up. So you can look it up on our website, cookcountyassessor.com, or you can go to cookcountypropertyinfo.com. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this on the screen for a couple of seconds so you all can screenshot it, write it down. I'm sure the link is in the comment section already. But here you can look up old tax bills right here. You can look up if there are any delinquent bills that are not on your property right here. You can look up previous exemptions, appeals, information, and anything from like the clerk's office. We want to remind taxpayers, I get this question every day. Exemptions were due April 9th, so anything now going forward is called a certificate of error. Wow, what is a certificate of error? Certificate of errors are a way for our office to go back and correct a mistake. Whether it be you file or you forgot to file for your exemption or we forgot to give it to you, it doesn't matter. As of this moment right now, we can go back to 2017. So we can do 2017, 2018, 2019, and the current year. We can go back 4 years to give people the exemptions that they qualified for and may have forgotten to apply for. On the right, this is a reassessment notice. If your township is open, you would have gotten being reassessed, or you would have received one of these. This is not a tax bill. This is not a tax bill. This is not a tax bill. This is just our office letting you know what we believe your property is worth. If we are close, you have nothing to do. If we are way off in your opinion, then you definitely want to file an appeal. How do you know if your township is open? Very simple. You go to this link. I know for a fact this is in the comments because we had it up earlier. This is our calendar. This calendar will let you know if your township is open or not, or when it should be opening. You'll see something that'll say like early September, mid-September, late September, something like that, or you'll actually see a date. Whoa, sorry, hit my desk. And if you see TBD, that just means it hasn't been announced yet. It's going to be determined. Now, the special feature for comparables, this is where you want to go, cookcountyassessor.com/what are comparable properties. Here's where the new feature is. That will also be in the comment section as well. So the reason why we're here, let's get to it. When you file an appeal, you will go to cookcountyassessor.com, click the appeals tab, and then file online appeal. This is exactly what you will see. Each tab has its own set of questions. You just have to answer the questions. We want to draw your attention to 2 areas. First, additional PINs. This is for anyone who has a prorated property. That means you have one property with multiple PIN numbers. You know who you are. If you're not sure if that's you, you're not, because you would know if you have more than one PIN number. For attachments or anything else, comparables, sales analysis, appraisals, pictures, narrative, whatever you want, anything, you want to put it in where it says attachments. Once you click attachments, these areas or these fields will pop up. I just want to encourage you to make sure you're paying attention to what you are uploading where. Some of these uploads, their max size is only like 5 megabytes, where others are 25 megabytes. So we just want to make sure that you are aware of that. Here is our website, cookcountyassessor.com. Our phone number is 312-443-7550. We are socially active, so please follow us on Facebook. Please follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. We are everywhere. We answer our DMs. We answer our inboxes, so please contact us. So what I would like to do is stop sharing and now go to my favorite part of the night. This is where the Q&A happens. So we got Ms. Ladwina. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Unmuted.
And let's jump. Oh, we got a lot of comments already. Okay, thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the live information event. Thank you. Perfect timing for this information. Thank you, Ms. Tiffany. I appreciate you. Amanda Felicia. Do homeowners need to file their exemptions every year? Absolutely not. Miss Amanda, first question. Ms. Ladwina, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Beautiful. I just want to make sure. Miss Amanda, once you file for your homeowner exemption, it will continue to be auto-renewed until there is a deed change or some type of transaction on your property. So you don't have to worry about it. Once you apply, it will be there forever. Well, I shouldn't say that. You can't say forever because nothing's forever, but you know what I mean. Oh, we got questions now. I can see them. Awesome. Miss Melanie, what if the homes in your area are being sold for twice as much as my house is worth? Will my taxes go up? So, Ms. Melanie, the answer is it depends, right? So earlier we talked about how properties are reassessed. They're reassessed on a mass appraisal system. That means if your home and other homes like yours are in a group, that's how they're going to be assessed. Now, let's break that down. If one property is sold for double, no, that's not gonna do anything. Two, three, probably not. Now, if all of them are being sold for double, yes, that will affect your assessed value, which may affect your tax bill. Thank you so much for this valuable information. Are there any tax exemptions for owners of rental property that have tenants with Come on, that's a spicy question. So here, let's break this down. Let me help you out. Are there exemptions for rental property? The answer is yes. How does one do this? First, it must be written in the lease of the property that the tenant is responsible for the property taxes. Two, your tax bill must be paid by the tenant. Once the tenant pays the tax bill, then they can go and get a certificate of heir for the exemption that they qualify for. So I'm not going to touch the unpaid COVID eviction. I got nothing to do with that, but there is a way. Yes. Russ, I currently have a senior freeze exemption. It's my understanding that if I appeal my assessment evaluation and win, I will lose my freeze. Is that true? Ooh, semantics. Okay, so words matter, right? So if you have the senior freeze offsets increases in property value. So the higher your property value goes, the greater your senior freeze savings is, the lower your tax bill becomes over time. If there is no increase, there is nothing to offset, there is a chance the savings will be negatively affected. So legally, this is not legal counsel, I cannot tell you not to appeal. However, if my grandma was receiving the senior freeze, she would not be appealing. That's just my opinion. Miss Amanda, if I became a homeowner in 2018 but never filed my exemption, can I appeal and get compensation for the previous years? Absolutely not. We just talked about this. So appealing is not what you want to do. Miss Amanda, you want to do what's called a certificate of error. Now, if you owned it, well, this is different. So what you want to do is you want to file a certificate of error. And if you owned and occupied the property January 1 of 2018, then you can go as far back as 2018, 2019, and 2020. If you did not own the property January 1 of 2018, but it was previously owned by someone else, then there is a chance we can make this happen. But I would just encourage you to go to the link. I'm sure it's in here somewhere for the certificate of errors. Go ahead and fill that out.
And Hector, what type of information is going to be needed?
I can't hear you, Miss Ladwina.
Oh, no. Can you hear me now?
No. Maybe raise the volume of your speakers, or maybe make sure you're unmuted. Or maybe it's me. Maybe you guys hear her and I can't. Let me
can you hear me now?
Let me check audio. Let's do MacBook. How about now?
I can hear you.
Now I can hear you. See, I don't know what happens. It does that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I forgot. Oh, I was going to say, for the certificate of error, what type of verification would they need to bring in order to prove like the previous years?
Yeah, their deed.
Okay.
Their deed would show when they own. Their driver's license would show when, because we're supposed to update our licenses. So there's ways to do it. It's all that information is on the certificate of error.
Gotcha.
Ms. Rhonda, this is some really good information. I hear things for myself, friends, and my parents. Thank you. You know what? I appreciate you, Ms. Rhonda. I appreciate you. Ms. Ebony, great information. Definitely helpful for family and friends. You know what? I was having a bad day earlier. Just not feeling too well, but you guys are just making me feel awesome. Thank you.
Yes, and also we are going to be, while we're giving all this wonderful feedback, we're going to be putting some surveys out there in the chat. And so we want to make sure that everyone takes the survey to give us this valuable feedback.
Would you like to take a survey? Yeah, let's do it.
It's a quick
Miss Katrina, in regards of the home improvement exemption, is there a full listing of what is acceptable on the website? No. So here's what you want to do. And I don't know you, so we're just talking. So assuming that the permits are pulled legally, because everybody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, right? So as long as you are pulling the permits correctly, once those permits are pulled, the city sends it to us. Our office will then go in and see what was actually done. Then there they will determine what was improved and how it affects the property. Amanda, this was really great info. Thank you so much, Miss Amanda. Miss King, appreciate you. Ms. Andrews, thank you for all this helpful information. I promise I can read. I just don't feel good, guys. So I promise. Amika, can you clarify that it will be there forever? Yeah, I know. I knew I shouldn't have said that. That's why I changed it. But okay, so if you file a homeowner's exemption, it will stay on the property as long as you stay on the property and there are no deed changes. Only reason you would have to reapply for a homeowner exemption is if you missed the deadline the first time. So hope that clears that up. Great info. Thank you so much. Sorry to, yes, you did. You knew what you were doing when you asked that question, but it's okay. I like these questions. These are the questions people are scared to ask. So these are the good ones because everybody's thinking it, just nobody wants to say that, you know? Great question.
Ask the spicy questions.
Let's go. And it's Hispanic Heritage Month. Spicy's in. Come on. Great question for this current market, for sure. How do I get the long-term exemption? Very simple. One, if you qualified, our office would have sent you the application already. Only 2% of homeowners actually qualify. But forget all that. Here's what you can do. In the comment section, there is a contact us. Go ahead and click that. Make sure you fill that out completely. There are people who fill this out, don't put a PIN number, don't put a phone number, don't put anything, and then they want our help. Fill it out completely. We will do the math for you and respond back to you. Ms. Maria, how do you determine what houses are in your appraisal group that determine your taxes? It's a mass appraisal system. So on your reassessment notice, you'll have a neighborhood code, you'll have a township. Those are the two things, and a property class. Sorry, those are the three things: neighborhood code, township, property class. Those are I don't want to use the word comparable, but those are the other properties that are in your appraisal group when you're being reassessed. And for the previous question, real quick, if you don't agree, then you want to file an appeal. It's really that simple. Like there's no trickery here. You know what I mean? If you don't agree, you want to file an appeal. Ms. Tiff, what are some common reasons for exemptions to be declined? Very simple. They don't meet the requirements. That's it. So each exemption has very specific requirements. So you have to meet those requirements unless your property has been no-filed. No-file means somebody was trying to do, or hold on, because people are actually listening. No-file means that there was something that was done that should not have been done. So those are only two reasons you would be denied: if you don't meet the requirements and you've been no-filed. Ooh, look who we got. Look who we got.
To this because I'm the one responding to Facebook inquiries. Make sure you upload your ID. That's a common error. People, and people qualify for it, but they forget to upload a photo of their ID.
Can we just give Angelina a round of applause, y'all?
I answer a lot of those questions. Okay, I'm going away now.
No, we like you. What's next? This is excellent information. You know what? This is an excellent crowd. How about that? I don't like that question. Oh, you can hear me. Thank you. Ms. Rhonda, I appreciate you too. Thank you. No, thank you.
Yes, I'm loving all
thank
of these
you.
great
Yeah, me too.
information messages.
Thank you for clarifying the senior exemption. Thank you. Thornton Township. Let's give them a round of applause. They're very active. They help a lot.
Okay.
You can have the senior exemption and still file an appeal, correct? Excellent question, Miss Cynthia. The senior citizen exemption has nothing to do with the appeal. The senior freeze exemption may be affected by your appeal. So you want to make sure you know that. EJ said that, yeah.
That's my nephew.
Oh, what up, nephew? What's next? Is that it? No, that can't be it. Well, that's the end of the questions.
No more questions? I'd like for you to provide a little bit more clarity really quick on what you're just saying about the senior exemption and the senior freeze and filing the appeal.
Absolutely. So the senior citizen so first of all, those are two different exemptions. The senior citizen, to qualify, you must have been born in 1955 or before, and you have to live there. That's it. The senior freeze is different. Have to be born in 1955 or before, cannot make more than $65,000 as a total household income, and you must have owned the property for 2 consecutive January 1s. The senior freeze can be affected by the appeal. The senior freeze offsets increases. An appeal says, I want you to lower my increases. If there are no increases, there is nothing to offset. There are no savings.
Gotcha.
Hopefully that helps.
Yep.
We also want to remind everyone to go ahead and click the survey in the comment section. We want to make sure y'all do that so that we know what's happening. We know if I'm doing a good job or I'm doing a terrible job, you know.
And we have two separate surveys.
Shoot, there's 2 of them. Let's get them. Let's get it done.
There's a survey for guests, and then there's a survey for our CMAQ sorors. So different surveys. So just click on the right button. You only have to take one. However, one's for guests and one's for CMAQ sorors.
Okay. I went to a music school, so I didn't do like fraternities or anything like that. I just wrote music. That's it. I ain't learned nothing but music theory. That's it.
You learn how to give good information for the Cook County Assessors Office?
Yeah, but I've been talking my whole life. So like, I was the kid at school that my teacher was like, you get good grades, but you need to be quiet. You talk too much. So I got a job that lets me talk.
No more questions?
No more questions.
So all of our information is flashing across the screen there. You can follow us on Instagram, and our chapter website is there, and the Twitter is there, and our Facebook is there as well. Also, I would strongly encourage everyone to follow the Cook County Assessors site as well, so you can get additional information. And I'm assuming that we'll be able to get notification when other live events come up. Yes. Yep. So make sure to do that. To do that also.
Russ says he can't find the survey. It's in the comment section. Scroll through that bad boy. It's also on the screen right now. Well, I just want to say thank you for having me. You literally could have had anyone else in the world. Y'all could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Please be safe. Please be wise. Please be cautious. It's been a little wild out there lately. So just please, everybody, be safe. Please be wise. And I just thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate the encouragement. I was not feeling well earlier, and I still don't feel good, but my heart feels good. So thank you guys. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you very much, Hector. You're
awesome. No, thank you. Yay. I want to come back, so bring me back.
We have to thank our
we got to thank Angelina.
Angelina, yes.
We got a round of applause, guys. Come on, Angelina, round of applause. She's back there killing it in the background. All right. Did you want to end or close with anything?
No, that's it.
My bad.
Take the survey, follow us. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you all. This information was timely and very valuable, and I loved all the feedback that everyone gave us. And again, thank you to you and Angelina.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to the rest of the team, our communications team. We hit the ground running with COVID hit, made sure we didn't skip a beat, available for everyone. So just thank you guys for supporting us.